This is a lesson plan for making a name banner in the style of some modern artists who use lettering and alphabets in their work. Students will end up with a colorful folding banner with as many letters as they want to include. I've had some students do their first, middle, and last names, and their arms weren't long enough to hold it. As you may know from some of my other videos, I do a lettering lesson at every grade level in elementary school. This is the project I do with second grade, but you could easily scale it up or down. This is an artwork by a different art teacher, and you can get this lesson plan for a different project online. But I like to show this first because there's so many letters hidden here that are upside down, sideways, or otherwise hidden. I like to use this because the letters are very clear, and I want to introduce the idea that when we are writing, when we are in English language arts class, it's very important to make our letters exactly correctly and do the best we can so that everyone can read our writing clearly. But in art class, we don't have to do that. In art class, we can use letters as an element of art, as a subject of art, and we can make them upside down and backwards. We can put them in code. We can write things that only we understand or that are total nonsense, or we can write things that we want everyone to understand. And I want to show them how some modern artists incorporated lettering into their artworks. In addition to the letters as structure, these artworks all use lots of bright color. So this is a very appealing student project. So when I show this, I have the students point out the different letters that they can see there, which ones are more hidden than others. For the Jasper Johns, I talk about how he has the alphabet here, and we talk about how many layers of paint there are and how some of the letters you can see clearly, some of them are kind of hidden, and he seems to have just keep going over the same space with different layers of color. So it's very messy. And how do they like that? Miro alphabet is interesting. This is not an actual painting or drawing by him. This is someone else who has taken these symbols that Miro had used in lots of other paintings and put them all together in one place. And so I like to show this one for all the lines and shapes and colors and how some of the letters you can tell what they are, and others, if you didn't know that they were letters, you probably wouldn't be able to figure that out without having put them all put together in an alphabet like this. And then we talk about if we can recognize some of the different letters, and some are clear and some are a mystery. So did Miro want us to know what he was writing about or not? And then we take a look at this one by Klee. I point out that they probably can't read this one because it's in German. And let's take a little bit closer look at it. So I point out how all of these letters are in squares, and the letters have gone all the way to the edges of the square, and how they've got different colors inside the squares, and all the letters run right up next to each other. So they don't have spacing and punctuation like normal writing does. These two paintings are really going to be the inspiration for what we're going to be working. And you can make letters like these, or you can make them totally differently. It's up to you. I have pre-cut cardstock. You want a heavyweight paper for this because we're going to be putting color on pretty thick. And I tell them that I want them to make their letters go all the way to the edge, take up that whole space. And most of them do that, but it's okay if they don't. And next, they're going to color in each one of these cards. They can mix different colors, they can add patterns, they can make it easy to read or hard to read. I cut mine mostly 4 by 6 inches. I cut some a little bit wider for the M's and W's, and I cut some narrower ones for the I's, but I let them pick whichever one they want. I recommend using paint sticks, quick sticks, or oil pastels for this because they go on so thick and you can really layer the colors. You could do this project with markers or crayons, but you're not going to get that thick and messy look. You don't want them to spend too much time or do this too carefully in order to get that expressive feel. My kids love the quick sticks. And here are some of my friends at work. You can see in that A, they didn't actually go edge to edge, but they did get the spirit of mixing different colors in there. So once they're done, you're going to have them lay out the letters right side up and then flip them over in order and get some masking tape and tape each one down. This is going to allow them to fold it up accordion style. And here are some of our results. You can see everyone interprets it in their own way. They pick their own colors. Sometimes they add hearts or polka dots or stars. Some kids will finish in a day. Some kids take 2 periods. This says Carla. I love the way she hid the L in there. They love the reveal when it's all taped together and you flip it over for them. For the kids with short names, I encourage them to do their last name or to do brothers and sisters' names, or really any word that they like. Some students pick a theme and do all their letters in a theme. Others do them all differently. And another great application for this is to make a collaborative bulletin board. I have had my early finishers work on the letters that spell out the name of my school. This one is Willow Oak School, and you can see that that's just repeating over and over again. You could have them do the name of your school or the alphabet or a slogan, and I will use the same board at the end and beginning of every year when I don't have artwork to put up yet. So that's our Modern Art Names project. I have many other lettering projects and many other projects of many kinds on my Heidi How channel. Like and subscribe so you will always see what's new.